We got the powers and true forms of the 5 elders revealed in this one. The outcome of Zoro versus Lucci, which is insanely hype. And of course, more Gear 5 Luffy epicness. So make sure to stay tuned for this insane chapter. Chill parking within and smash that like button if you enjoy seeing One Piece videos like this one and want to keep them coming. Make this the video you join the Nakama if you haven't already by subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss future One Piece videos and updates. And now, without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. Okay, so last chapter, we had the insane revelation that Saturn was summoning the other Gorosei members to Egghead. Now, I was saying that things look too good for our side, and that's before Zoro did what he's about to do this chapter. Gear 5 Luffy and the others and the giants and the pacifistas would not have that much trouble, especially when you throw in Saturn worrying about Vegapunk's message being revealed. Escape seemed easy, too easy as I was saying, until Oda did something we didn't even know was possible and just summoned the 4 Gorosei right here. Crazy. Maybe he even overdid it a bit. I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to write his way out of this. I thought in this arc we would have a good chance of taking down one member of the Gorosei and then eventually more, but Oda is speedrunning this right now, and so he's just like, here's all of them at once. And that takes us to this chapter called Falling Stars. The chapter starts with reactions of some of the characters, including Vice Admiral Bluegrass, Bonnie, Frankie, and Atlas when they see the Black Lightning from what I'd assume is the summoning we left off at last chapter, the summoning of the Gorosei. And the giants and pacifistas continue destroying marine ships. Keep this part in mind though, because despite how much I love the fact that now the pacifistas obey Bonnie, the time of the pacifistas is sadly numbered. We see that in Marishawa, the room with the 5 elders is empty, and of course we know why. Now there's only a huge burning magical circle on the floor in front of their seats. We're told that there's only 7 minutes left until Vegapunk's message to the world, and hilariously, we can see Vegapunk sipping his Vega coffee on the screen. I love how in the middle of all of this insanity and drama and crazy twists and turns, we just have them casually trying to kill time and sipping coffee in a very not rushed manner. It also makes me question if what Vegapunk is going to say is gonna be that crazy, or if it's mostly gonna serve to allow the Straw Hats to escape because of the distraction to the Gorosei. Let me know what you think below. Will it be groundbreaking information, or will it primarily be useful to let the Straw Hats give the Gorosei the slip? I'm personally already getting worried about Luffy's Gear 5 time limit again. Anyways, back to the Gorosei being summoned. 4 huge shadows emerge from the magic circles that appeared around Saturn, and Luffy is in shock. Guess we're just teleporting from vast distances now, and such powerful opponents too. Crazy, overpowered stuff. Luffy is hilarious as ever, just saying, there are 5 monsters now. We see an epic full double page with all the members of the 5 elders in front of Luffy. How in God's name is he gonna get out of this one? Can't wait to see. I think any Yonko would have trouble in this situation, except of course, Buggy. And it's not just the 5 elders in their normal forms, by the way. No, they're using their beast awakened forms with the dark flame smoke around their necks. So yeah, we got 5 awakened Gorosei right now. So yeah, Oda definitely answered my it's looking too easy issue and then some. We get the official names of the beasts slash yokai each one of them represents, which in and of itself is a huge reveal. Number 1, Saint J. Garcia Saturn is a Gyuki, no surprise there. Number 2, Saint Marcus Mars is an Itsumade, a massive eerie bird. This bird shadow definitely stood out the most to me back when we saw the silhouettes. Number 3, Saint Topman Warcury, probably my favorite name, FYI. He is a Houki, aka a giant boar with 4 tusks. Number 4, Saint Ethan Baron v Nusjuro is a Bokotsu, aka a skeleton horse, which is probably like the coolest thing. Number 5, Saint Shepherd Drew Peter is a sandworm, aka a massive worm monster. And honestly, this one is pretty awesome too. I may have spoken too soon with the skeletal horse. I just watched Dune Part 2 and it was awesome, so maybe that adds to my appreciation of how powerful and scary these giant worms can be. Either way, I think Oda killed it with these powers. Saturn's beast of choice is probably the worst one of the lot, and since he was introduced first, I think Oda crushed it overall with the beast choices. Can't wait to see all the unique powers such diverse beasts have, but since we only got the beast and yokai names as far as I can tell and not the fruit names, it may be true that these powers were given by Imu and potentially Imu's devil fruit and are not actually individual devil fruit powers, since I don't get why we just wouldn't get the devil fruit reveals, but we'll see. Either way, it would help explain why they're tied together in this weird way and are even able to summon each other, which is not something you usually associate with devil fruits. Let me know what you think. Are these mythical zones, or are they some darker demon devil fruits, or are they powers granted to them by Imu-sama? And does that explain their immortality as well? Now, this next bit is a bit crazy. I know pacifistas aren't the biggest threat these days, but it's insane how Noosjuro, the horse skeleton, uses his power to find and assassinate pacifistas. He turns into his hybrid form, looking like a centaur, a nice touch. The lower part of his body is a skeleton horse, but his neck and head are now the top of Noosjuro's human body. He can use his sword with his 2 arms. So clearly Zoro has his next opponent, which I'm psyched about. We saw his sword before and I knew it was coming, but like I said, looks like we're speedrunning it now. And thankfully Oda is about to finish the Zoro versus Lucci fight, and there will be nothing in theory to prevent this next hype matchup for Zoro. And then we get what I was talking about with the pacifistas. Noosjuro runs around Egghead Island defeating them. He uses frozen slashes, a Brook-esque cool touch, and the slashes freeze the circuits inside the pacifistas to immobilize them. Crazy. You see what I mean? I know pacifistas aren't top tier anymore, but going through them so easily, it really hypes up the level of even one Gorosei. By the way, the skeleton horse, pretty cool matchup for the King of Hell Zoro, is it not? Anyways, the unthinkable happens, and within seconds, half of the pacifistas on Egghead Island are defeated. Thus, this dude just solved the issue that the Marines were really struggling with in mere seconds. Mars, for his part, flies up and attacks the Labo phase, since they think that that is the key to stopping the broadcast. I personally hope that it's not that simple. Hopefully, the #1 genius in the world wouldn't be that predictable. Anyways, he leaps on the barrier, but the barrier still holds for now. This time, props to Vegapunk for the impressive barrier. Mars was not as immediately impressive as our skeleton horse, that must be said. Then while Luffy is still fighting Saturn, we get Peter, the sandworm, diving into the ground. Again, if you watch Dune, you are well aware of what we gotta watch out for, and it does come into play soon enough, as we'll see. Usopp, for his part, stopped the Thousand Sunny by creating a bamboo barrier thanks to his technique, Green Star Bamboo Javelin. Sanji calls everyone via Denden Mushi, and this is honestly one of my favorite parts in the entire chapter. He tells the others they must escape right now and not to wait for Luffy and him. Don't worry, the good part is still to come. Jinbei finally arrives to the place where Zoro is fighting Lucci. We can see that one of Zoro's swords is spinning in the air due to one of Lucci's attacks. Not a good look, it must be said, but Oda will make up for it very soon. Jinbei says, Sanji, Zoro is still fighting against that guy. Sanji then says, the Marimo, aka Moss Ball, hasn't ended it yet? What a burden. And I've also heard it translated as Sanji calling him dead weight. And oh my god, there's no better way to motivate Zoro. Zoro hears this and looks very upset. It's like he's been messing around and this was like a kick in the butt telling him, alright, time to end it. Lucci attacks Zoro with a technique called Shugan Madara, aka hand pistol spots. Zoro dodges the attack and we're told easily while he grabs the sword that was spinning in the air. Then he attacks Lucci with a new technique called Santoryu Kokoba Madaragari, aka Huhuva Hell Stripe Hunt. Crazy names, but I love it. Lucci has definitely become the hunted as Zoro defeats Lucci instantly with one attack in an amazing double page spread. We can even see black lightning around Zoro. Oh god, I love this so much. And I've been saying Zoro versus Lucci, no contest. Thank you for proving me right, Oda. On to the skeleton horse next for Zoro's opponent. But for now though, we go back to Luffy versus the Five Elders. And in such a hype chapter where I can say Luffy versus the Five Elders, it's crazy to think that something else for me was even better than the Luffy versus the Five Elders fight. But that's what being a Zoro stan will do to you. Anyways, Peter emerges suddenly like the Dune Worms. He emerges under Luffy and swallows him. The end. Nah, I'm totally kidding. These past few chapters, Dorry and Broggy have been making their way to Luffy and they're finally here. They say what is happening, you, meaning Luffy, are not fit to be in a dark place. Fitting for the sun god, of course. And then they use the attack Taiyo Noko, meaning sun saw or solar saw. Again, a very fitting attack name. I love how they could just come up with it on the spot like that. In the double page, so cool, we got another one. Oda outdid himself after this break. Dorry and Broggy cut Peter's worm head. By doing so, they free Luffy, and it's also a throwback to the scene from Little Garden when Dorry saves Luffy by cutting a dinosaur's head. Appreciate that parallel and attention to detail. This is why Oda is the best. Luffy screams, I'm free, and then says, hey, the Giants Osan, noticing his old friends. Broggy laughs, saying, long time no see, Straw Hat. Meanwhile, Dorry says, we couldn't wait for you, so we came to pick you up, and he laughs too. I love how in the middle of the hardest fight, they have time to have the old friends greeting reunion, completely ignoring the Gorosei. No break next week, so make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know the second that review drops. If you enjoyed this video, you won't want to miss my All Blackbeard Pirates Explained video. That crew is definitely one to watch. Link on screen right now. Like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.